So Star Wars Theory on Twitter posted a screenshot and talked about how in the upcoming Rise of Skywalker novelization, which I have not read yet, I heard it got postponed till the summer, but that may not be true. I guess that's not true. They reveal that in the Rise of Skywalker, the Palpatine that we saw was actually a clone. And essentially what had happened was, and this was not revealed in the film, it was only briefly kind of teased when they talked about Sith alchemy and cloning and things like that. But basically what sort of happened here was, to the best of my knowledge, when Palpatine was betrayed by Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi and thrown down that shaft, he was able to somehow transfer his essence into a clone body. So that's how they were able to explain how Palpatine survived Return of the Jedi, which is, being able to transfer his spirit, so to speak, into a clone body. Now, they did not specify where this clone body was. It may have been across the galaxy. It may have been somewhere else in the Death Star on a ship ready to escape. It may have been, on Exegol. We don't know. The whole thing's not out yet, and it probably isn't even explaining the whole thing, but this is their explanation for Palpatine surviving Return of the Jedi, and it's not a very good one. Some people have already been jumping the gun saying that, we kind of knew that, and some have been saying that this fixes the movie. It does not fix the movie. Does it, in a way, explain how he survived? Yes, but is it a good explanation? And to me, the answer is no, because no matter which way you slice it, bringing Palpatine back in this Episode 9 movie still feels like a desperate move. It still feels very shoehorned. That cannot be in any way changed. It's just how it feels. And even now, with all the new information we have based on the Trevorrow script and all that, you can't sit there and tell me and lie, which Disney has done multiple times about this, and say you always had plans for Palpatine to come back. That's complete BS. At least admit, hey, we had this idea for Palpatine to return Episode 9, but it wasn't the original plan. At the very least, you'd get respect from the fans who are going to say, okay, well, at least you're being honest with us that you lost Snoke and you wanted to have a new villain. That's fine. But they lie about it. So essentially, the clone body at some point was damaged, or it just wasn't the same healthy, I guess you can say, body that Palpatine had, or maybe just the 30 years. Presumably, he was on Exegol for almost all of the 30 years in between Episode 6 and 7, or actually 6 and 9, be like 33 years or whatever. Presumably, that's what happened, is that his body rotted away. And my thoughts on it are this. This does not save the movie. It is an explanation, but not a very good one. Doesn't take away from the issues with the writing problems in the film. And to me, it does beg the question, okay, so we know that Palpatine can transfer his spirit onto Rey, or onto other beings, that is. And the idea was a sacrifice had to be made. So why didn't Palpatine's spirit transfer into Vader? Or why didn't it transfer into, another vessel? Why was it a clone? And then, of course, that begs the question. When Rey killed him at the end of Episode 9, spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, which I certainly hope you have by now. And if you haven't, too bad, because it's been out for a long, long time by now. In fact, I think the Blu-ray might be coming out this month. I think it is this month, anyways, in the 4K and everything. So, when Rey beat him at the end of Episode 9, is he actually dead? Or how do we know he didn't just transfer his body onto another clone on another planet? I mean, if this guy Palpatine is so smart and always has these really thought out contingency plans that he's had in place for decades, wouldn't you have another plan where his body is in another clone somewhere else and he can transfer it over right before Rey flipped the lightning on him? How do we know he's really dead? That's whack to me. It does kind of limit the universe in a way. Now, what would have been cool is if we actually saw his spirit try to get transferred, right? And then the Jedi appear as ghosts and stop him from doing it. See, that would have been a great ending. That would have then sealed the deal on well, it wouldn't have been a great ending, but it would have been a better ending, because then it would have sealed the deal on Palpatine really being gone this time. You know what I mean? Think about in the movie Ghost, when you die and those ghouls drag you into hell. It would have been awesome if as he's transferring his essence, like Yoda and Anakin, like show up as ghosts and stop him and destroy him. Like use the Force from the afterlife to destroy him. See, that would have at least been more satisfying and would have made more sense. No, this does not fix the problems in the movie. Yes, it's definitely shoehorned in. And I still want to read the novelization because I'm curious about what other stuff they add in there. But I don't know. And another thing, too, is that they really are copying the EU. I mean, the whole idea of Palpatine having clones is totally EU shit. And we're seeing it here in The Rise of Skywalker, which is okay. I mean, I have no problem with them taking ideas from the EU, from Legends, because, you know, people love those stories. So taking ideas from there is fine. But this one seems a bit too on the nose. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments about Palpatine being a clone. Does it save the movie for you? It doesn't save it for me at all. The whole problem with this film is Palpatine is coming back was already an issue, but there's other issues with the movie now. It's been explained, but it's not a really good explanation. So, anyways, that's it. Let me know what you think. We'll talk soon.